Hello, hi, and namaste to all the beautiful people again. I'm so excited to come back to you guys and talk to you and then give you more information on how to settle down as an RN. I know there are a lot of queries inside you right now because the last video that I uploaded was just a general idea on how to get into or how to complete the process of being RN in Canada. It might be very confusing and it might be very vague to all those individuals who are really unknown about it. If you haven't checked my previous video, you can go back and watch the video again about how to be a RN, or I will put the link down below and you can watch it again. I just want to make sure that the intention of creating those videos and uploading in my channel is only to help those newcomers who are really scared on how to do or how to get settled down or move to Canada and work as an RN. Because I know for those newcomers and for those nurses who really want to move out of the country, it's really a matter of emotional instability and the great decision to move. Because I was in the same place 3 years ago and then I made it in my life. So I am just trying to be positive and encouraging you guys that do not be scared. Everything is possible if you go through all the procedures very carefully and then slowly. If you have any anxiety or something like that, you can always relax and think again and do it again. All right, with that note, I really want to say thank you to all those beautiful people who gave me the beautiful words of encouragement. And I have seen a lot of support from them in creating more videos about their really related topic or anything about nursing careers. So in my first phase of my video making, I want to stick to the how to become RN, because I know there are a lot of newcomers who want to move out of the country for the better life or for better education or higher studies in nursing and anything like that. Also, I would also like to thank all the people who have subscribed my channel. Please keep on subscribing because I am really coming up with a lot of informative videos in the future. It's not about just how to be RN, but I can also help people who want to move out of the country as a student, because as per my knowledge and as per my research, whatever information I give you guys is based on the research that I do for myself and for you guys, because without research I don't want to give you the wrong information, because that might make a big difference in your process or anything, or your adjustment, anything like that. So in this video today, I want to talk more about the confusion that had happened with the first video. That was I would like to tell you guys that the first video that I've uploaded is completely a mind map on how to be a RN here in Canada, but there are certain things that everyone has the queries, that I have a lot of messages, and then I have the feedback regarding and more queries about how to do that. So I have few questions, very important questions that I have gathered from all those messages and the feedbacks. So I'm going to talk about those questions today in this video. Okay, so let's move on. I am really happy and excited that you guys are encouraging me to come back again with more creative videos and more information on how to be RN. I am really hopeful that my information's based on my research and the current updates about any kind of related website or any kind of steps or whatever might be the very helpful points for you guys. Okay, so without any delay, I really want to move to the different questions today. Before answering your queries, I just want to mention about very important topic that I didn't include in my first video. The topic is about how many different kinds of entry level of practice of nurses are there in Canada, or different levels of nurses in Canada. So I just want to make sure that for the entry level of practice, that means for the basic nursing entry level, there are two different kinds. One is RN, which can be done directly, or you can go via the registered practical nurses or licensed practical nurses. In some provinces, they they would say registered practical nurses, and in some provinces they say licensed practical nurses, like in US. So there are two different kinds for the entry level. And for sure, of course, if you want to study more and increase your level of nursing or advance your education, then of course you can do masters in academic based or theory based or research based. And also there is one more interesting topic. If you are in the Southeast Asia, then that is not, this might be a new topic for the people out there. So here in Canada, you can still study the nurse practitioner courses, which work as a doctor, and they can prescribe, and they work with hand in hand with the doctors in the unit. So that's what different level of nurses, and of course there are PhDs as well. So make sure that which topic that I was talking about the entry level nurses in Canada, so which means RN and RPN or LPN. For the RN, that I've talked about in detail in my previous video. So for the RPN or LPN, it is the same process for the international student. There is no difference. The only thing that the nurses would be able to work as an RPN is only when they apply as an RPN and RN, then you can work as RPN or RN. And for RPN or LPN, you need to give different exam besides NCLEX, which is only for RNs. So RPNs are those diploma level nurses here in Canada, which only has 2 academic years. And so after studying 2 years of courses as an RPN or registered practical nurses, they give an exam which is called CPNRE. That means Canadian Practical Nurses Registration Examination, which is only for RPN and LPN. Once you give that exam, then you can work as RPN. And once you worked as RPN, or once you completed your course as an RPN, there is always bridging to RN courses for those RPN and LPNs, those who want to be RN in future. So that bridging course is different than what the international educated nurses would do the bridging course. So the bridging to RN would lead those RPNs to study more detailed course which fulfill the requirements of RN. And then after studying 2 years, they again need to give the exam for NCLEX RN, and then only they can work as an RN. So make sure that it is 2 different criterias, okay? The RPN and then RN. But for us, for international educated nurses, the process of entering into either RPN or RN is same process. With the same documentation, you can apply for the 2 different level of nurses, that is RPN and RN both. And then also you can apply for different provinces in Canada. It is not that you only can apply for RN or RPN, or you can only apply for one provinces. It is not like that. You can apply for different provinces at the same time when you start your NNAs. It's just the matter of little fees is different. So I will talk more about fees and the criterias on my next video, because I'm gonna make more videos on NNAS process and how to fill out the forms and stuff like that. So I hope this makes a little bit clear about what kind of nurses are there in Canada for the entry-level practice. I hope this helped you guys. And the second very common question was what language criteria, or what was there. In my first video, I have mentioned a little bit about the IELTS or English language requirement. So I want to be more clear, because I did some research and then I came back with some information for you guys. That we can, in Canada, you can give 2 kinds of English language test. One is IELTS, as you all know, IELTS, International English Language Testing System is IELTS. And if you are giving IELTS, you have to have certain score in each band, or each band. Like in speaking, you need to have at least 7. In listening, you need to have 7.5, and in reading, you can have 6.5 with 7 in writing. Okay, and in writing you need to have 7, and overall you have to have 7 band. Make sure that you get 7 and above in all the band, except for reading you have 6.5. And make sure that you give the academic IELTS. Always keep in mind that the general training IELTS is only for immigration purpose, so it doesn't cover up your academic courses, or if you want to get admission to the universities, or if you want to be RN, that won't be counted. So it is better you give the academic IELTS for RN. And the next one is CELBAN, which is called Canadian English Language Benchmark Assessment for Nurses in Canada. So that English has also 4 different bands, which has speaking, listening, reading, and writing. But in CELBAN, it is the English language test, which is tested only for the nurses based on how you communicate with the patient or in the hospital environment. So it has different practice courses, so you can take once you are here, or if you in your country, if you have any CELBAN center, then you can, for sure you can practice there and be ready for the exam. So in the CELBAN, in the speaking, you need to have 8 out of 10. In listening, you need to have 10 out of 10. In reading, you should have 8 out of 10. And then in writing, you should have 7 out of 10 band score. So make sure that you have enough score, and then once you get all these, then you will be eligible to write or your IELTS will be waived, or the English will be waived. That was a very important point. And there is one more thing that I want to tell you, that if you are already a Canadian student, or if you are an international student already going to the Canadian schools, and of course they will waive the English requirements for those students if you have studied in Canada for at least 1 academic year, not the vocational and apprenticeship and volunteer won't be eligible. So it should be an academic course, which should not have any English as a second language course. I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions regarding that, give me the questions down below or in my inbox in Facebook, wherever, it doesn't matter. I'll try to clarify you guys. Okay, one more question for this part is that they have asked me about what kind of bridging courses they would offer, or what kind of university, or which university or colleges they would ask us to go and study. Okay, on this matter, you get the report from the NNAs, and then you are asked to submit the report to the respective college of nurses of different provinces. And once they go through all your reports and they go through all your clinical and then academic gaps, if there's any academic gaps or clinical gaps, they want you to go back to school and study, which we were talking about, that bridging course. So it is especially designed for internationally educated nurses, and it is different from those bridging courses which is done by the domestic students, because for the internationally educated nurses there are different sets of areas which has gaps, so it might be different in content and curriculum. Then after that, if there is any gaps in the clinical placement or clinical areas, then they will ask you to do some OSCE exam, and if you go through the exam and then pass the exam, then they will give you the eligibility for RN. So OSCE exam is completely based on the clinical assessment, the clinical judgment. They would ask you to go and assess some simulated patient, and then you have to work through it and make your nursing diagnosis as much as possible, and then go through all those safety and assessment process and everything like that. I don't want to scare you right now, so if you want me more, then I will, of course, I'll give you the detail on that as well in the future. Well, so when they ask you to go back to school for your fulfilling your gaps, then every province has their own recognized university and colleges where they have designed the courses for internationally educated nurses. So it might be varied from the province to province or universities and colleges, that how many years or how many hours you need to complete it. So it might be from 1.5 years to 2 years courses. It is completely dependent on the different provinces and the university course content. So it is based on, once you get the report from so it is based on the report that you get from your regulatory body. So you need to wait until that, which university you want to apply or which provinces you want to move. So once you decide that, then everything is gonna go very smoothly. So I hope this will help. But if you want to know in Ontario, because I'm in Ontario right now, in Ontario there are different universities. Like very popular in Toronto region is University of York, which provides that education for those international educated nurses once they get the report and recommendation from the CNO, College of Nurses of Ontario. And once you get the report, either to join the university or do the OSCE, if you decided to join the university, then you need to apply for that university on your personal basis. It's not based on the CNO report. So it is always your duty to apply for that university, because there would be a long queue to wait for all the nurses that who want to go back to school and then study and finish that course. And then once you have done that course, then you are eligible to write the NCLEX, because CNO will decide based on the transcript that the university or college sends to them. So it is always important that you should be aware of which universities and which college CNO has or the regulatory body has recognized. So I hope this will help, and I'm gonna move to the second part after this, because I don't want to make video too long and boring. I understand that only to talk is very easy, but to grasp the knowledge is very different part. Okay, and then if you like the video, please do comment, subscribe, and share as much as possible, because sharing is always caring. And then if you share, I know it'll help a lot of newcomers and then people who really want the help. So I believe in sharing, so please do that. And thanks for your encouragement and support throughout my first video, and I'm hoping the same for my second and upcoming videos. Thank you. I am hoping to see you again in my part 2. So till then, stay healthy and happy.